What's good? It's Elijah Blake, and you know I got soul.
A few months back, you released your EP, Bijou 22.
Yeah.
So what were you looking to accomplish when you put that effort out?
I felt like at that time, because Elijah Blake was still new to so many people, and I was getting so much love on the feature, and I was featured on the Raw song, and I was featured on the Keisha album, and I was featured on the Game song, and it got to the point where the fans that I was getting would be like, yo, like, I'm excited to hear what you sound like in your element. You know, what does Elijah Blake sound like when he's not on a Ross album? What does he sound like when he's not on a Game album? So, you know, it was frustrating me, like, when I would get these tweets, you know what I mean? I feel like back in the day, fans had questions, but they couldn't access the artist directly.
Right.
But, like, me being so passionate about music, like, when my fans ask me something, like, I feel like I have to give them an answer. Like, that hits me home. Like, that hits home to me for some reason. So I kept going on all day. I'm like, these people need to hear something, or they just, I don't want to be pigeonholed as, like, the dude who comes and kills the hooks. Like, you know what I mean? So we put together a mixtape. It was like, you have a gift that you're never going to be in a need for music. Like, you can always write songs, so you don't have to hold songs captive. You can write better songs and you get better as you go. So put together a mixtape. So we put together some songs, old and new, and we went back in and revamped them. And it was like a week and a half process. And I just wrote the storyline and just wanted it to be cohesive and just where I was at that time, because I was in a dark place as well. Like, I felt like I got the deal, but then the world hadn't heard me yet, and I didn't want to wait till my time I was on the calendar to come out. I wanted to be like, yo, like, this is who I am now. Get to know me and tell me, and I want to get feedback from the fans and what they like to hear. So I don't want it to be on my first album to see what my fans don't want to hear from me. You know what I mean? Or what's not working. So I wanted to put that out as a teaser, and, you know, to kind of just taste test how people gravitate to it. I didn't expect the reaction to be what it was. Like, I really thought it was going to be something that I was going to put out there. People who wanted to find it would find it. But it just, the love was, like, amazing. So it just goes to show that good music, you know, you can have all the promo tools in the world, but you just put good music out, word of mouth, and people passing it along. Like, there's a need and a thirst for good music now. It's at an all-time high because everything is so formulated. So I just feel like that was a major good thing that I did, to put that out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, you know, you've had a hand in writing a lot, like we mentioned, Trey Songz, Usher. You did a bunch on Keisha's album, and just hooks for other artists. You know, has it been hard trying to break the stigma of you just being a writer, but you're an artist though? You know, do people think of you as just a writer? Is it hard to break out of that?
Yes and no at the same time, because the people who were real artists that I looked up to would always tell me, they'd be like, man, like, there's no reason you shouldn't have your own album out. So when I was working on my album, a lot of the biggest producers and biggest artists would be like, yo, if you need a verse, let me know. I've been telling people, like, you're my favorite artist before, when you were just writing songs. But I feel like there shouldn't even be a stigma, because I feel like art is art, and a songwriter paints a picture. So I feel like when people try to separate one of the two, I feel like Michael Jackson wrote his songs, and he's one of the greatest artists of our time. Like, but you don't ever see somebody say Michael Jackson was, you know, like, man, he's a better songwriter than he was a singer, or, you know what I mean? He just was an artist. And I feel like with Lauren, I feel like anytime you put a songwriter and next to the art, it just is the best. It's the most lethal combination, because you know that it's real. You know, you can relate to it. You know where it's coming from. Like with Lauryn Hill, like Prince, anybody, my favorite artists of all time, like Alanis Morissette and Coldplay, Bono, like, they all wrote their songs. So I feel like it's a crime that we even separate that sometimes. Like, there are people, you know, who are just songwriters, but I feel like there shouldn't be a stigma for singer-songwriters, because that's the biggest artist of all time for that. You know what I mean? So I try not to pay attention to it, but there is somewhat of a stigma. It's kind of like, if you start off as an artist, if you start off as a songwriter, where you cross over into artisting, what people don't know is a lot of times a lot of times these songwriters were artists first. It's just that as starving artists, you got to get money. So it's like, I'm not gonna sit here sleeping. I have too much pride to sleep on someone's couch and just blame it on me being a starving artist. So I was like, if I ever get to songwrite and tell stories through other people, and I looked at Neo, and my biggest fear was getting signed to a record deal where the label didn't get me, and they had their own vision of me as opposed to who I was. So I looked at people like Neo at the time and The Dream, who had creative control. So I was like, okay, they were able to prove that they were in touch with culture. Let me get out there and do that and earn my stripes. I always feel like I never want anything handed to me. Only thing I want is a fair opportunity. You know what I mean? To prove myself. So I feel like with those songs, now that in my situation with the label, they feel like, okay, if I get on the table and I stand up and I yell and I'm fighting for a song, at least I can say, hey, I was right with this song, and they respect that, and I respect them because they've done, you know, I respect their opinion as well. But I feel like it just creates a common ground for everybody, you know, for the politics to fall to the wayside, and it's just about music and how good the song is. You know what I mean?
That's a great answer. I like that. So now you've had the EP out now for a while. You've been working it. The video just came out for X.O.X. You know, what can we expect next going forward from you?
Man, world domination. I should call the album that, World Domination. Nah, man, I wanna bring music back to the days where music saved lives. Like I know this. I've seen interviews where people have been on the verge of suicide, and like the right song has changed their mind. Or, you know, somebody dealing with death, like that song changed their mind. It's even songs that I hear that just bring me back to the first where I was when that song came out. When I first heard it on the radio, I could smell the scent in the air like when I hear that song.
Yeah.
And I think if we just keep writing these songs about how tipsy we are in the club and how much money we throw in, it's just like when our kids and grandchildren look back at our they're gonna be like, damn, like there was a Stevie era and there was the Michael era and there was the, you know, there's so many eras, like the Elvis era. I don't want them to be like, your era sucked, because all we was talking about was being tipsy. And you know, like, I want to have songs that I think that there's a place for those songs too. I'm not knocking that, because every now and then I want to hear them type of songs, but I think it should be a variety, and that's all I want to offer. I want to offer songs that tell a story. I want to offer songs that make people, that can help somebody get through a situation. I want to be the dude that can articulate what other guys want to say, but at the time when we're upset we can't articulate it because our anger takes over. I want to be the dude that the dude could put on the radio, and all the things that his girl's been wanting him to say, he could be like, this is what I want to say to you. It's kind of like every dude's homeboy, and you know, and every chick's dream.
Right.
No offense to the homeboys, but it be like that sometimes.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess just to wrap up now, you used to go by the name Red Styles.
Yeah.
You know, you went away from that. You built up a fan base with that name. Have you found that people have followed you? Those fans have followed you to your new alias now, Elijah Blake?
Yeah, and you know, I still battle with that, because I feel like I work so hard to, you know, to just go back to just keeping it organic. I feel like the music is organic. That's why I just went, you know, I stripped the Red Styles thing and just did Elijah Blake, because I feel like I don't want people to hear my song in London and be like, is he a rapper? Like, I remember when I first met Sierra, she was like, I heard about you. You know, I've been hearing about you for a minute. I always expected you to be a rapper. And that used to drive me crazy, because one thing about me is I've never pretended to be super hard and, you know, to be about the thug life and like carrying a pistol on me. Like, I'm the dude who grew up in the suburb and played with the homies that was in the hood down the street. Like, you know what I mean? I never pretend to be hard, and I just do me. And I feel like, you know, the gentleman side comes across in my songwriting, and, you know, I can get hood and ratchet when need be, but I feel like Red Styles just only, the name just represented me. I feel like also with YouTube, I grew up and I made a lot of mistakes on YouTube and social media. Like, you know, like back in the day, people would make mistakes on like reality TV shows, and growing up on like, you know, like if you look at Beyonce or like with Destiny's Child, you saw like how they went through Star Search and stuff. I feel like I was learning myself and developing on YouTube, because I used to do that like every day. There would be times where I wanted to go and like, you know, run track or do something, and my dad be like, you gotta do a YouTube video because your fans requested this. And so I just get on there and do like some weak performance and be like, la 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 la, I didn't get up. And then, you know, in the video would get all these views and people would think that that's me. I'm like, but, and I'll watch it and I'll cringe. I'll be like, but they're happy. And I'm like, but I should get, they deserve more because they really were rooting for me. I'm like, man, they deserve more. So I wanted to just kind of start fresh and do that. So sometimes when people be like, yeah, I remember you with Red Stars, I'll be like, it's almost like he throw up the cross, like and rebuke it in the name of Jesus. But I guess it's one of those things you just gotta like deal with. But it's still, I still don't know how to feel about it all the way, because I feel like I worked really hard and just to just get away from all that. But I gotta realize that it's a part of me and it's a part of the people who've been following me.
Right, for sure. So that's all we have for you. Anything you want to add?
Man, I just want to add that this album is going to be amazing. Me and No ID put a lot of work into it. It's cohesive. It doesn't sound like anybody else. I want to just separate myself, and it's just refreshing. So, you know, it's just, I want it to be a breath of fresh air, and I think we accomplished that. So stay tuned for that.